What's good, ladies and gentlemen? This is your guy, Mr. Live, coming at you direct once again for week 11. And in this video, I am giving my thoughts, opinions, and predictions, but it's going to be a little bit of a different format, man. I'm going to be going over the full slate of NFL games for week 11, giving you thoughts, opinions, and predictions on all of them. So I hope you enjoy that, man. And this video was actually a suggestion by a viewer, so I appreciate that, man. If you guys are viewing this, watching the videos, and you make suggestions, if I can make it for you, man, I'm going to try to do that for you. So hope you enjoy. If you do dig the video, hit that thumbs up for me, man. Drop your guy a follow or a comment below on all the games. Let me know who you think is going to be winning these games this upcoming Sunday. But without further ado, man, let's go and talk about it. Okay, so the first game I got here is the Bears and the Falcons. Now, with these two teams, they are very heavy run teams. The Bears, they got Justin Fields, who has 749 yards, and he's just been killing it with his legs. We've all been seeing what he's been able to do this season, so I think he's going to be able to continue that. On the other side, the Falcons, they have a nice young running back in their hands, and of course they got Cordell Patterson also, who has been coming back off an injury, and he's been kind of getting back into his groove a little bit too. They've been able to run the ball successfully, but when I look at the two teams, ultimately I think the Bears have a slight edge. I think their quarterback being able to get pick up first downs with his legs and be able to move the ball, make plays with his legs, I think is going to be the difference in this one. So because of that, I'm going to go with the Bears in this game to win with a final score of 24-17. The next game I got is Ravens-Carolina, and in this game, I think the Ravens have the slight edge over the Carolina Panthers. Baker Mayfield will be getting the start in this one, but Lamar Jackson, he's just too much, I think. They also have Gus Edwards going to be coming off an injury, and Kenyon Drake, he's been not playing too bad either. So I think their run game is enough to get the job done. In this one, I will be taking the Ravens with a final score of 32-17. Another game is the Bills and the Browns. Now, last week, the Bills had a very tough loss against the Vikings. It was an absolutely crazy game, man. I turned away, I came back, and it was tied, and it was in overtime. There was fumbles, interceptions, all kinds of crazy stuff happened in that game, man. It was a thriller for sure. Unfortunately, though, the Bills were on the losing end of that one. So, they're going to want to get back right in this game. The Browns don't have a bad defense. They do have 20 sacks on the season, and they're about 15th best right now in the NFL. So they're okay. They're going to need a big showing from that defense if they're going to want to have a chance against the Bills. But ultimately, I think the Bills are going to be just a little too much for this Browns team. And I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills to win this one with a final score of 34-20. Which brings us to Washington and Houston. Now, last Monday night, Washington, of course, beat the undefeated Eagles team, and they got to be feeling good about themselves. But are they feeling a little too good about themselves, man? We might know. Sometimes when things like that can happen, you might be floating on clouds, feeling really good, and next thing you know, you get swiped out of the side and by someone you weren't even expecting. That might be the Houston Texans this coming Sunday, man. The Texans, if there's one thing about this team, is that they've been playing hard throughout the season. It's not showing up in their records. We know that, but when you look at them, they fight, man. They fight, and I think this is a game that they might be able to get. They've played two other NFC East division or NFC East teams the last 2 weeks in the Eagles and the Giants, so they got to get a win against the NFC East, right? I think this is a little bit of a underdog pick, but I think that the Texans are going to win this game here. I'm picking them with a final score of 21-17. So I just said the Texans are going to win over the NFC East, but another NFC East team that I think is looking to get a win this Sunday is the Eagles, right? The Philadelphia Eagles. We know they lost last week to the Washington Redskins, so they got to get back on track. They don't like the losing taste in their mouth. I'm sure they were winning so much, and they're gonna want to get back to that. The Colts, who they played this Sunday, they had a coaching change, right? They got Jeff Saturday coming in. They got the win last week, and they're also probably feeling a little good. But, when you have a coaching change in the middle of the season, it's one of those things where it can kind of go either way. You might be able to, it might be that thing in the season where it changes you and, catapults you into a playoff berth. Who knows? Or it could be a thing where it's just get you through the rest of the season. I have confidence in Jeff Saturday that he's going to get this team right, but I don't know if they're going to get right this week. And because of that, I am going to be taking the Eagles to win this game with a final score of 35-21. So another interesting game we got is the Rams traveling out to New Orleans to play the Saints. What was it, 2 years ago or so, these two teams had a very controversial game, we can say, in the playoffs, and they might not gotten over that just quite yet. Although there are some injuries to the Rams, Cooper Kupp is not going to be there, and Matthew Stafford, he is coming back off the concussion protocol, so he might not be 100%. And without his number one receiver, we'll see what he can do. The Saints on the other side too, they got not too bad of a defense, I would say. They rank where they have 28 sacks on the season, which is 7th in the NFL, so not bad at all. And if Stafford doesn't have his number one wideout, he's probably going to be sitting back, reading the plays a little bit more, just giving a few more seconds for that defensive line to get to him. And I think that's going to be all the difference, man. So in this game, I'm going to be taking the Saints to win this one 24-21. And then we got an NFC East showdown, man, between the Jets and the Patriots. These two teams met earlier, and the Pats did win, like they have been for the past decade or so. They pretty much have owned this division, have owned this team. Of course, that's a lot under Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Tom Brady, everybody knows he's not there anymore, but they're still pulling wins together. They're still a solid team. They haven't lost too much of a step this season. They've had some injuries, and they've had kind of a quarterback carousel going on, which is a thing in its own, man. I'm not going to get into that, but nevertheless, this game right here, I think it's going to be a really tough game. Both of these teams are coming off of a bye, so they're going to be well rested. They should be ready to go, and they should have pretty good game plans in play when they meet each other. But because of that, I think Bill Belichick is one of the best coaches in the NFL currently and in the history of the NFL. So I think he's going to have his team ready to go, prepared, planned out, and I'm going to be taking the Pats in this game to win with a final score of 20-17. And for the final early morning game, we have the Lions and the Giants. Kind of sounding funny, but the Lions and the Giants, man, going to be, like I said, the last of the early morning games. With these two teams, it's there's not really, I would say, anything special about them, except for maybe Saquon. He is having a comeback season this year, and he's, I believe, second in rushing right now with 931 yards on the year, so almost at 1,000. He's going to be hitting that 1,000 mark probably this game. And the Lions, man, they they just aren't really that good, unfortunately. They have some pieces. They have a nice receiver. They have a nice running back, but they seem to not be able to get him the ball. And because of that, they just haven't been very exciting to watch this season. They haven't had a lot of wins this season, unfortunately. So it's going to be hard for them. I also think that, a key point is Daniel Jones for the Giants. He's not the best quarterback. He's not out here throwing crazy numbers, but he is protecting the ball. He has 2 interceptions on the year, and that does go for a lot. So if they can control the clock with Saquon, which I think is what they're going to do, I do think the Giants will be able to add another win onto their record this week. I'm going to take the Giants with a final score of 28-21. And then we have 3 afternoon games. The first of the afternoon games I will start with is going to be the Raiders and the Broncos. These two teams, kind of similar to the last game I just went over, they're not too special. I think a lot of people had these two teams in completely different conversations at the beginning of the year. A lot of them thought they're going to be fighting for the division, even fighting for a Super Bowl berth, man. But the way they've been playing this year, it's just hasn't been that well. They've been up and down. Sometimes they come out, they look really good. Sometimes they come out, they look really bad, and I mean really bad. And you never know what you're going to get from these teams. If we look at their, week 3 matchup, week 4 matchup, it was actually a higher scoring game from these two teams. So I think we're probably going to see something a little bit similar to what we saw in that game. But it is hard to pick because, like I said, you don't really know what you're going to get from these two teams. I'm kind of taking a stab in the dark here, but I'm going to go with the Broncos to win this game with a final score of 28-24. All right, and we got another divisional game in the AFC between the Bengals and the Steelers. Now, you gotta love divisional games. They're absolutely some of the best matchups to watch. And for the Steelers, luckily they got TJ Watt coming back, which is going to definitely boost that pass rush attack. And on the Bengals side, they still had Chase out. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue for them, but they still have Mixon. They still have, The other receivers, I forget the names. How can I go blank on their names right now? But they still have that receivers that are still solid, man. So I'm not worried about this Bengals offense. Burrow is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Also, as a team, they're sixth in offense right now. So they've been doing good, and they've been able to get the job done without Chase showing up, because in the last 4 games they have won 3 of them, which is good. He hasn't played in many of those games, so it's showing that they can get the job done even without their best wideout. Imagine when he gets back, this team's going to be looking really nice again. And I don't think, unfortunately, the Steelers, even with TJ Watt coming back, are going to have enough to slow them down and get the win. So I will be picking the Bengals in this one to get the win with a final score of 32-24. And then we got the last afternoon game, which is my favorite game of the NFL Sunday. I'm talking about the Cowboys game versus the Vikings. I'm a Cowboys fan, man. If you didn't know, that's my team. That's who I root for, man. So I left it for last because if you've seen any of my videos, I always go with the Cowboys. That's just how I got to do it, man. That's my squad. So going with the Cowboys to win this one, final score 28-24. But the reason behind that is because I've seen him do it before, man. I know Justin Jefferson is one of the top elite receivers, probably the best receiver right now in the NFL. The catches that he made last week, man, which was chef's kiss. But, you know, I think, like I said, I think the Cowboys can get it done. I've seen them get it done before against this team with a backup. Last year they had Cooper Rush, and he was able to get the win over this team. They got Dak now. Not to say that he's a lot better than Cooper Rush, but the offense has been playing good and the defense has been playing good. They had a bad loss last week against the Packers, so they have that sour taste in their mouth, and I think they're going to use that to motivate themselves to get this upset over the Vikings. So like I said, picking the Cowboys, man, in this final one here, the afternoon games, final score 28-24. All right, man, and there you have it. My final thoughts, predictions, and opinions on all the NFL games this coming Sunday, week 11. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. I wish I had more time to go into each game and break the teams down even more, give you more highlights, more facts, and more information about the teams. But unfortunately, this type of format just don't have enough time to do it, man. If you do want to see something like that, I do make videos for Sunday night games, Monday night games, and Thursday night games. I do try to highlight those. So check them out, man. They'll give you some more details with those ones, no doubt. But if you enjoyed the video, man, hit that thumbs up, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about these predictions, which teams you think are going to be winning, which teams you think are going to be losing. If I'm right, if I'm wrong, man, I want to hear it all. Let's talk about it. So leave that comment below, drop the thumbs up, or follow your guy for more videos like this, more NFL content throughout the season, man, trying to give it to you. So if you like that, man, this is where you need to be. But as always, have a little fun. We'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace out.